Can you believe that it is almost time for the Switch 2 Nintendo Direct? Just 8 days left. It's March 25th already, which is, it's just blowing by for me, at least. I don't know if some of you, it might be a very long wait, but for me, it's been really, really fast. I can't believe we're at the end of March, but we have to keep generating hype and talking about what's going to happen in this show because it is just such a big, exciting show that we're about to receive. Now, if you watched my video yesterday, we were actually talking about the fact that there's been rumors going around suggesting that there could be another Nintendo Direct happening this week, and it would be focused probably on Switch 1 games, but this is coming from 2 reliable sources. Now, a lot of you guys in the comments hated this idea and said this was stupid, Nintendo would never do something like this, and as I didn't believe it at first, I fully believe it now, and that's because there's an update on this whole thing. Nin10doland chimes in and states, to stop the constant questions, yes, I heard there's a Nintendo presentation this week. I believe it's on or around Thursday, and it'll be a Direct, but I'm not 100% certain on the format at present. Why am I so convinced? Well, Nin10doland is up there with PRO as an extremely reliable source, someone who we can definitely trust, as they 100% were the only ones to know exactly when we would get this Switch 2 reveal, and it happened on that week they said it would. So I think it's safe to say we're getting some type of Nintendo Direct this week, which is pretty crazy. I'm not going to give my full predictions or anything because it's not confirmed yet, but I will say a lot of people are making this seem like it's too weird. Like, yeah, it's kind of strange that it's a week before a Switch 2 Nintendo Direct, but it makes a lot of sense if you think about it, because this Switch 2 Direct, Nintendo knows it's massive. They're not going to want to waste any time with stuff that doesn't need to be here, and Nintendo has contracts with third-party companies, and they probably even have smaller first-party games themselves that they want to talk about that might not be big enough for a Switch 2 Nintendo Direct. So this way they can focus on all the big stuff next week, all the huge new games like 3D Mario, Mario Kart, Metroid Prime 4, and all the Switch 2 talk, and just stay there without having all kinds of random filler games. For this week, they can spend the entire show just getting out all that small stuff out the way now, like the week in advance. If that's that Kirby Planet Robobot remaster or remake we've been hearing about that Nin10doland himself has said is coming this year, so that would make a lot of sense to have that there, or maybe Metroid Prime 2 or 3, Zelda Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, maybe some smaller games to help us wait for that Switch 2 transition. We don't know when Switch 2 is coming out, so it might be another month or two. I think it's coming in May or June, so either way, it would be nice to have some smaller games, remakes, and remasters again to get excited about, even before the big stuff for next week. So I think it makes a lot of sense. We're going to have to wait and see if it's true. We'll probably find out in the next couple of days, yes or no. What makes this even crazier is we're now even getting Nintendo Switch 2 Direct rumors about Metroid Prime 4, saying that Prime 4 is not even going to be there. So maybe that leads credence into us having a Switch 1 Direct this week where Prime 4 is going to be shown off. So maybe they truly do have a lot of special Switch 2 games that they want to show, and Prime 4 is not even one of them, which is a good thing maybe? There's just a lot of Switch 2 games that they want to show off, so that's definitely interesting. Of course, like always, it's time to move on to our question of the day because we only have 8 more. Today's question comes from Ari Gallant and states, what do you think the biggest surprise feature of the Nintendo Switch 2 will be? Well, this is actually going to morph into the hype video today, because that's something that I've been thinking about a lot. I am super excited for the games for sure, but I'm also very interested in seeing what's going to make this console so different from Switch 1, because if they're having a whole Nintendo Direct dedicated to this console, it tells me that it's not just games, for one, of course, but they have a lot of stuff to show us. I do think the Switch 2 is going to have a lot of secret gimmicks that's going to make it really special, and things that we didn't even think about. But as far as the things that we've been hearing about, the rumors, the whispers, I am excited about a handful of things. But I got a couple things that I wrote down here that I am the most excited about. And the first one, I am very excited about the mouse Joy-Con function. This is something that leaked a while ago, and we can even see it kind of teased in the Switch trailer, where it shows the Joy-Con sliding across the floor on the side on this brand new, railing system it has. I think this is going to be great. I think this is going to increase, skill when it comes to first person and third person shooters, Splatoon. I think it's going to allow us to kind of point, click, aim, something like a PC user, which is going to be crazy to have for a console. I think it's also going to be really good for just navigating the menus, just going through like the eShop, the store and stuff, and just clicking and scrolling and, buying things. I hope there's there's like a keyboard attachment, would make that even easier in case there's like a web browser so we can surf the web and stuff. I doubt there'll be a web browser. We know, it's an easy way for us to hack our consoles. Nintendo's probably not going to want that to happen. But I also cannot stop thinking about maybe the next Mario Maker. Utilizing that point and click function in order to drag and drop things down, I think will be the best possible way ever to build in Mario Maker. I think it'd be just as good, if not better, than having a Wii U gamepad. So that is one function I really, really hope is true. The second thing I've been seeing a lot is the potential for maybe even a second screen. Now, there's actually been patents of how we can flip the Switch 2 upside down, and you can charge it from the top or charge it from the bottom, and the Joy-Con will attach either way. Now, I used to question, like, what is this going to be for? Maybe it's for certain attachments onto the top or to the bottom of the Switch, and a lot of people made some mock-ups, including this one you're seeing now, that actually shows what it could look like if there was a second screen, how it could fold over. It could be like a new 3DS. We already have a new 3DS, but the new Switch 2 3DS, you know what I mean? But this could allow for obviously DS and maybe even 3DS games to be played like this, but I feel like it would also have another function. Maybe there's certain games that will utilize the second screen. This isn't like a huge wish of mine. I don't need this. I've already went through tons of eras of DS gameplay, so I don't need dual screen that much anymore. I'm good with it. I even had dual screen with the Wii U gamepad, but this would be cool for a while until we realize like most of the DS and 3DS games like we've played thousands of times, or they've already been, remade or remastered. So like, do we need this? Absolutely not, but I think it would be a cool new addition if Nintendo decided to go that route. Now, I'll be honest, this is something that I would definitely want the most, and it's not as much a feature of the actual console, but rather software that the console would have. I really hope the Switch 2 has some type of community app. I want some sort of return of Miiverse. That would make me so happy. Now, there's a rumor out there going around saying that there is going to be a new social media called Vidmeo. It's going to be just like TikTok, and it's going to allow us to kind of just post things and scroll through other people's posts and follow other people. I just would love something like a Twitter or an Instagram or TikTok, but on Nintendo's playground. Like, Nintendo regulates it and everything like that, but it's a full-fledged social media. Like, you can download it on the App Store, you can have it on your Switch, and it's just like a safe space for Nintendo fans. Like, it can be moderated. Like, if you say bad things, you get kicked, so that way you can limit at least the toxicity. There's always going to be toxicity, but at least you can limit it here. But maybe it can work directly with games, where you can post stuff from your game, screenshots, maybe helpful hints for people, guides for people. You can ask questions and people can help you solve those questions. Pretty much just what Miiverse was, but on a full-fledged scale this time around. Like, really diving into the thing, giving it a mobile app to go along with the Switch 2 app as well. Maybe it's an easier way to jump into parties with friends this time around, to invite friends, to friend people. Like, no more friend codes, just have usernames and stuff. This could be really cool. Now, we do know at the bottom of the right Joy-Con, there's a C button that Nintendo's not showing us right now. A lot of people thought that that could be for Connect, or maybe like casting your Switch to the TV or something, which could be cool. But I really hope it's for like a community button, allowing us to just drop into a community tab and just kind of, share our social medias, maybe even have our own accounts where people can follow us, and people can follow their favorite content creators on their Switch this time around instead of having a mobile device. It would be really cool, and I think it's an innovation that Nintendo would absolutely excel in, just taking what they did with Miiverse and just bumping it up a bunch. My last big surprise gimmick that I would love the Switch 2 to do is to be powerful. Yeah, that's it. Like, I don't need gimmicks necessarily. Like, I'm just so happy that the Switch is a success the way it is. It is an amazing console. To be able to play it at home and take it on the go is great, but we need some power. Lots of the first-party Nintendo games run great, but it's still very underpowered in comparison to a lot of other consoles. It's just so many series behind. It needs to catch up. And I'm not expecting this thing, obviously, to be PS5 or Xbox Series, but if it's at least PS4 level, I mean, giving us, 1080p, 60 frames per second with our games, without a doubt, or maybe even some games at 4K. I'm not asking for a lot. I just want to run games well. There should be no reason we're getting remakes of GameCube games that aren't running at 60 frames per second when the original GameCube game ran at 60 frames per second. I'm looking at you, Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door HD. But yeah, there's a lot of games I could be looking at. But yeah, you get my point. I just want to be able to play games the way they should be played, because if Nintendo does that, they already have the first party games, like their IPs are lined up. If this next 3D Mario game and this next Pokemon, whatever else is coming out, it needs to look beautiful. It needs to run at 60 frames. It needs to just be powerful. And that's all I want. And I'm not talking like the next evolution of power, just powerful, like just powerful enough to do the bare minimum that we really want. Like, I should be able to play Fortnite on my Switch without it running at 20 frames per second. It's literally that bad. I'm not joking. Go try it out. But I'm just hoping that Nintendo can actually piece some stuff together. I don't mind forking over 400, 450. I would even give them 500 if they can guarantee me that this console is going to be powerful enough. So please, the gimmicks are fun, but focus on the power this time around. This is, I guess, and originally maybe going to be the Switch Pro, but we don't know what happened with that, if that was even real. So if this is what the Switch Pro was, show us why it's a Pro. Show us why it's powerful. Like, give us some power, Nintendo, and I think they definitely will. So yeah, I'm just really hoping that the Switch 2 has a lot of surprises in store for us, and it seems like there might be even more surprises if a Nintendo Switch 1 Focus Direct happens this week. It could change up everything that we know, and since we haven't found out any information today, that gives us pretty much one more day to find out. So let's just stay tuned and see what's going on. But thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe before you head out. And like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See ya, guys.